This is from, I don't know what her real name is. I know what it is, but I've forgotten it. But her, her login name is Hunger Games Book Club, but I can't remember her actual name. But she asked, why do you think Peeta asked Haymitch to train him separately after the night when the training scores are announced? I was discussing this with a friend yesterday. Her theory was that Peeta thought he would impair Katniss's ability to win by training with her after he sees that she gets an 11 and he gets an 8. I thought maybe he pulls away in order to make an alliance with the careers before going into the games and convince them that his being in love is an angle. What do you think? So why, this is actually something I've seen a lot of people wonder about or speculate about. Why did Peeta ask to be trained separately? Let's go with Theresa first because she's the Peeta file.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks. I always just thought it was because he had this plan on the side with Haymitch that he wanted to, that I think he came forward and, he let Haymitch know what it was. And I think at that point it was to do what he could to protect her, and he had to make this in a way I think as believable as possible and in a way to step back. And, he couldn't necessarily go, I don't know, I think he wanted her, he didn't want her to know where he was and what he was doing. And at that point, I think I honestly have always just thought it was an agreement with Haymitch and Peeta saying, it's at that time. This is, it's Peeta going and saying, this is what I want to do. I want to try to make an alliance with the careers. I've got to do this to protect Katniss. And I honestly, I don't know that he could have broken away from her if he was spending, that last little bit with her.
Right, because then starting out at the cornucopia, they would have been like a team running off together. Like he had to somehow kind of sever that connection as much as he could.
And I think in a way he was, he's putting a question in her mind, about him. And it's, I think it's that part where he's saying to her even later on, if I go back, if I go back and you die, there's no life for me. So I think, at that point his whole focus was Katniss will live. I've got to do whatever I can to make sure she lives, and this is all part of the plan. And separating that tie with her before, a real bond could be made in a way, before she completely trusted him was necessary to the plan.
Does anyone else have any other thoughts or comments on this?
Well, I kind of think it's because, Haymitch made it clear that the mentors always have to choose one. They can never fight for both. And there's always one who will help the other one win because only one can usually win. So, it's pretty much just the same thing that you were saying earlier, that Peeta had to make his own plan, and it couldn't have anything to do with Katniss because she would never have allowed it if he was like, okay, we choose you, we're going to save you, and I'm just going to die. That would never work out. So he had to separate from her so he could make his own plan so that he and Haymitch could work together to save her.
Right. What?
I think sound logic right there.
What were Katniss's thoughts at that time? I'm trying to remember, what was her initial reaction? I know she was pissed.
Betrayal. Yeah, betrayed.
But why did she think he did it?
I don't know.
I just remember her being really upset and feeling betrayed. I don't remember her actually thinking he must have he's doing this because.
Well, I think she always thought he was playing the game. She always had that question in her mind, and I think at that point it was like a solidifying thing, okay, game on.
Right. You're going to do. Going to go. Yeah, get his own trainings that she didn't know about, so that he could fight against her, I guess.
But definitely betrayal because it's like we go into this, we're supposed to act like a team, and then suddenly you don't want to play a team. Where she really wasn't on board for the team thing in the beginning, and then she gets on board, and then suddenly he changes gears.
Oh, poor Katniss.